Okay, Cougars. So we are now doing rank 2. We're doing rank 2. And if you look, rank 2 begins with point 11, guys. Point 1 through 10, of course, is all rank 1. Remember, each rank consists of 10 individual points. So we're on point 11, and it says scales, play scales number 1 and number 6. Remember, you need to go back to the sheet that has each scale and the number of each scale, which can be found in Google Classroom under ranks. But I'll go ahead and bring it up here. Got here my Google Drive. And let's scroll down to trumpet because that's what I'm playing right now. Keep on scrolling down here. There it is. So we are looking for number 1 and number 6. Number 1 is B flat, trumpet key of C. Number 6 is the chromatic scale just going up the scale. See, it's right here. So let's start with number 1. Okay, now on to 6. And you can take it your own tempo, so you can take it a little slower if you'd like. Here's the chromatic ascending, just going up. So that is 1 and 6. Next, let's go to point 12. And it says, count the following exercises by saying the rhythms out loud. So we're going to number 60 and number 87 in our books. And we're sticking with using smart music here. Great, great tool. All right, so in my counting, I see we have our time signature here, 4/4, 4 beats in the measure. Our quarter note gets 1 beat because there's a 4 in the bottom. Now right here, it's reminding me, see it says 3 beats? It's reminding me right here, the half note's tied to the quarter note. So now I don't clap this quarter note, even though it still exists, it's added to the value of the half note. 2 beats for the half note, quarter note is 1, together it's 3. Okay, over here, quarter note plus a quarter note, 1 plus 1 is 2. That's a tie, not a slur. Right here, another quarter note plus quarter note. Over here, half note plus quarter note, 3 beats again. Here, quarter note plus quarter note, 2 beats. Here, half note plus quarter note, 3 beats. So we're going to go ahead and clap it and count it. Here we go. 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Rest. That's number 60. And the next part of that same point is 87. So we're scrolling down. Okay. Number 87 has our quarter notes, 1 beat. We have quarter rest, which is 1 beat of silence. And you'll notice that we have eighth notes here. Remember eighth notes? They are half of a beat. So for example, right here, this one starts on beat 4 because here's 1, 2, and 3. Not because it's 3 notes, but because it's 3 quarter notes, which are 1 beat apiece. So this is 1 beat and it falls on beat 1. This is 1 beat, but it falls on beat 2. This is 1 beat, it falls on beat 3. Now I have 2 eighth notes, and eighth notes are half a beat. This eighth note's on the downbeat 4, while this second eighth note is on the and of 4. So this is 4 and. 1, 2, 3, 4 and. So just remember how we count eighth notes. So let's clap it. 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, rest. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1 and 2 and 3, rest. So that is 16 to 87, our clapping exercises. So when we go back after 16 to 87, you'll see it says score a 100% on a rank 2 vocabulary test. And it says ask Mr. Combs, that's the gentleman who actually designed the rank system, for the test. Of course, ours, you're going to find it's in Google Classroom under rank quizzes. So if you look up rank quizzes or rank tests uh, in the where I have everything divided into sections in Google Classroom. Now, remember, when you go to Google Classroom, you have to click on where it says classwork or coursework, and then it'll show you how everything is separated. If you don't do that, you can see that big long stream of stuff. You got to go through everything, which can be kind of confusing. So I like to click on classwork, and then it separates everything into its sections. And the section here is for rank quizzes or rank tests, and you'll find rank 2 in there. Now, to help you study, I have created I have these Quizlet quizzes so you can study them. And you will find those at, see, I'll clear this out for you. Boop, there he goes. At this site right here, where it says bit.ly rank Quizlets. Again, bit.ly rank with a capital R, Quizlets with a capital Q. If you go to this site, you'll find little quizzes where you can practice and work on those before you take the actual quiz in Google Classroom. Okay, so that's our point number 13. Move back into our book. Point 14 is number 62, Camptown Races. So let's go there. 62. I'm going to lower the volume here because, as we saw, if you've listened to the rank 1 quizzes, there are points, there are a couple of instances where we didn't move that down, and it comes out pretty loud for you guys. So let's move that down, move our metronome down. And Camptown Races, you'll see Allegro. Allegro is an Italian word, which we saw in rank 1. It means to play fast. It's a tempo marking. Tempo meaning speed. Down here is Mezzo Forte, which is a dynamic marking, which stands for Mezzo Forte. The MF stands for Mezzo Forte, and that means medium loud. Here is a breath mark, which tells us where to breathe. We have dotted half notes here, which are 3 beats long, 3 beats long. And we have a repeat sign here at the end, which means we repeat the whole thing again. Okay? So that's just a little information here about 62 before we play it. So let's get ready. Okay, here we go. All right, so that's Camptown Races, which is number 62. And 62 is, of course, our point 14. So now we're going on to point 15, which is 73, and it says hot muffins. So let's move to 73. Okay, we've arrived at 73, hot muffins. And most of you know this is a take on hot cross buns from earlier. Now, you'll take a look and you notice that our time signature is 2-4 now. The top number being 2, the top number tells us how many beats are in the measure. So now we only have 2 beats in the measure. 4 in the bottom, still quarter note gets 1 beat. So look at every measure. 1, 2. 2 quarter notes, 2 beats. Half note, we know is 2 beats. And it's telling us that our half note is a B flat. So be careful. First finger, third position. Clarinet's 1, 2, 3, first finger. Trumpet's first finger. Be careful right here. If you're playing flute, that's an A flat. A flat 1, 2, 3 with a left hand pinky. Okay, just be mindful of that. F natural for altos and bari sax. That note comes back here, and then we see it. We see that same note right here 4 times, and it's reminding us up here at the top. It says flat applies to all B's in the measure, or all A's in the measure. Okay, if you're playing flute or low brass, or all F's in the measure if you're playing alto or bari sax. So every one of these B's are going to be flat. Okay, cool. All right, so we're looking at hot muffins. Here we go. Goes by pretty quick. It's only, just a few short measures. That's 73. Let's go back to our points. So we just completed point 15. Now point 16 is number 75, basic blues. So we're now on basic blues, and it says that we have a new note. And that same note that we had a moment ago, like in the lower register, it's now the higher register. So now this is a B flat up here. Trumpets, it's still a first valve. Trombone, still third position. It's just an octave higher, the same note an octave higher. Flutes is still A flat, 1, 2, 3 pinky, same fingering, just an octave higher, faster air. Sax is still a F natural for altos and for baries. Just have to add the octave key now, right? So just be careful of this note right here. And the cool thing about smart music is that these notes here, it will remind you. See, it's got the flat written beside it. It's not in the key signature, so that's kind of cool. Okay. All right. So let's back it up, and we do have a repeat sign. We do have the B flat twice here. Again, it's an A flat for flutes and low brass, F natural for altos, and remember it stays flat here because it's in the same measure. Okay, let's take it all the way back to the beginning. Here we go. Basic blues. It's basically much of it of 75. You notice it's the arpeggio for concert B flat with a little something extra. So let's go to our next one. Okay, our next point is number 17, and it's number 78 in our books, up on a housetop. Okay, so now we're on 78, and it has some things we need to pay attention to. One, this is called our key signature right here. It's this area that comes after your clef. Your clef will be treble or bass clef. This is, of course, treble. Bass clef look kind of like a backwards C, remember? And this space here between the clef and our key signature, which we've been talking about, this space is called, between the clef and the time signature, this space is called the key signature. And in here, you'll see any note that'll be flat or sharp that'll last for the entire song. So just keep your eye in here before you go onto your music, because you want to make sure you're playing the right notes. There's nothing in this key signature for trumpets, though. It'll be a B flat and an E flat if you're playing flute or low brass or mallets. So now we're moving on. See, our time signature is 4/4, 4 beats in the measure. Quarter note gets 1 beat. Cool. And we see our part here. Careful, got some little leaps here. That's like the arpeggio. Some eighth notes here. Over here, we'll see that we have what's called first and second ending. The first time we play all the way through the first ending. That's what this is called. And after the first ending, you'll see a repeat sign. That sends us back to the beginning. And then we'll play the second time. And once we play the second time, we don't play the first ending. We skip right over it and go to the second ending the second time. So do not play the first ending the second time. So we go over it, Then we go over here. Now look, we were playing allegro, which is, quickly, like we've learned before. Mezzo forte, which is medium loud. But once we're here, you'll see that we have forte. So these notes should be forte, and they're accented. That articulation, remember, that means to tongue the note with a little bit more weight, a little heavier. Duh, duh, duh. Down here, we have accented notes again, still forte until we're told otherwise. Play all the way to the end, and we've accented here. So we need to be playing forte all the way to the end. Okay? So here we go. This is number 78, Up on a Housetop. Hold 1 second. Let's start here at the beginning. That'd be helpful. There we go. And you can hear how the dynamics changed after the second ending. And I was adding those accents in there. Hopefully you can hear how those notes were a little bit heavier than the other ones. Okay, that's number 78. Moving on to our next point, guys, we have 88, which is technique tracks. And as it says here, a tip, play slowly. So when you're practicing it, you want to take it slowly until you have it totally perfect. And then you want to speed it up a little bit at a time. Don't speed it up all at once because you won't be able to play it probably. So let's go on to 88. Okay, we've made our way to 88. And we'll notice that on 88, careful, look at our key signature. It's changed, right? Now we see a flat here. And since that flat is on the third line, every good boy does fine. The third line would be the B line, every good boy. So this symbol means that all my B's will be flat. So when I get here, this is a B flat, B flat, B flat, B flat, and I just have to remember it's flat. B flat here, one here too, and one over here. So all those B's are flat, or it's an A flat if you're playing flute or low brass or mallets, F natural if you're playing alto sax or bari sax. Please, please, please pay close attention to that key signature. We're still in 4/4, 4 beats in the measure. Quarter note gets 1 beat. And as the recommendation said, take it slowly in the beginning. So here is 88. Okay, so that's 88 with the repeats. Now we're nearing the end of our rank 2. We only have 2 more points. So point 19 is number 91, the Banana Boat song. So let's scroll on up to 91. We're on 91, the Banana Boat song. Our tempo has changed. We're now at what's called moderato, which means a medium pace, not fast, not slow, medium pace, moderato. Down here we have F, which we know it means forte. It means to play loudly, but still under control. Over here, it drops to mezzo forte. So that means that it should be getting softer over here. Now we have some different symbols. See right here we have the this symbol. Looks like fine, but in Italian is fine. And then over here we'll see DC al fine. That's what that's called. Well, the way that works is we're going to play the entire song all the way through. top line, the bottom line. And then the DC stands for da capo. Da capo means go back to the beginning. So we'll go back to the beginning. The al fine means to stop at fine, but I'm talking about the second time. So we play all the way through the top line, all the way through the second line. We get down to DC al fine, which sends us back to the beginning. We play at the beginning, and then the second time we stop at fine. All right, so that's kind of the roadmap of the piece. So let's give it a try. Banana boat song. So that's number 91, the Banana Boat Song. We're on now to our final point. Final point is point 20. That will finish up rank 2, which is 96, Gliding Along. So let's go back to our smart music. Go to 96. 96, Gliding Along. You'll notice that we have these big, long, curvy lines. Now, these would be a tie if the notes were on the same line or space. But see how this note is lower? This note's lower, then it changes again. So these are not ties. These are slurs, okay? Slur meaning that I'm going to, the first note in the slur, I always tongue that. But every note I'm going to that is included under the slur, even the last note, those notes I don't articulate with my tongue. I just move my fingers to those notes when they happen in time. Okay, so I keep the air moving and I just move my fingers, but I don't tongue each one of those notes. Okay, so I tongue this note and then I just slur to these notes. Then I tongue this note because see the slur stopped here. I tongue these notes, tongue this note, and then I slur all the rest of these notes. Then I tongue this note, then I have a rest, right? One beat rest. Then I tongue this note, I slur to these other three notes. Then I tongue this note, and I slur to these other three notes. Then I tongue this note, slur to that note. Stop. It stops. Then it restarts another slur. Tongue this note, slur to that second note, and then I tongue the last note. So with slurs here, the important thing is we want to be accurate on when the slur starts and when it stops. Okay, so just be mindful of that. So number 96, Gliding Along. And folks, that is our final point for rank number 2. Practice before you try to perform the point because you need to have it perfectly, like it says right here, with no mistakes. I will be posting this. It'll be a YouTube video, but you'll also find it in your Google Classroom shortly. So take your time, work on these. If you need to contact me, please remember my email is jswilson@gaston.k12.nc.us. You can reach me by Google Voice number, which is 980-285-7180. You can even text that number. My Twitter is at Julian Wilson GCS, as in Gaston County Schools. And our Instagram page is YC Band Hangouts. You guys take care. Hope this is very useful to you.